Welcome, we are back with another episode of Zero to Hero, DPS edition. If you come from the last episode and was just disgusted by the god-awful damage, well, I got news for you. That's just not the case anymore. We blasted down 5 keys and they all went really well. So now we have enough crest to craft our first weapon, which has been aiding us in our pumpage. But now, despite being able to keep up in the damage meters, I'm suffering in other areas. Pause. Just wanted to let you know if you're watching this within the first 3 hours of it being uploaded, I'm now live on Twitch, so if you want to hang out and do some keys, come and join me. Take it away, Obey. You'd assume this late into the season, people would have a rough idea on how to play this game, but sadly, that just isn't the case. It gets worse though. It's so bad you'll go to bed being gaslit into thinking you're the problem. But remember, the players in your groups are just people too. They also wake up every morning, put on their socks and strap on their Velcro shoes, because you already know these clowns have no idea how to tie their own shoelace. We are also finally dipping our toes into some 10s, so if you want to see some pig pumpage, questionable decision makings and even more questionable gameplay, well, you've come to the right place. Let's take our new weapon for a spin, and there's no better place to kick it off with an 8 Darkflame Cleft.
Get the fuck out of the way! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker!
Yeah, sorry about that, Toby. Even though we're still not topping the damage meters in larger pools, once we get into a pack with only 5 targets, we absolutely gap them.
That's quite big. Impressive.
The boss fights in this dungeon are also perfect for melee too, because I have 0 mechanics to worry about. But I did learn something new. Did you know this extinguishing gust does damage? Well, neither did I. It was either that did the damage to me, or because my tank walked out of melee range. I know this because he did the same thing again a little bit later, so I took 3 huge slaps before I toppled over. Another thing that was annoying, he kept pulling the Candle King away from me, so my chances of finishing at the top was at stake. And even though I tried my best and put my heart out on the final pack, my bitch ass got demoted to candle duty on the final boss. And I'm a team player, so like the candle holding princess that I am, I moved that candle like my life depended on it. And even though we didn't finish at the top, our deed did not go unnoticed, and we was rewarded. What? And we was rewarded. Why can't I say that? And we was rewarded. I sound like Jonathan Ross. And we was rewarded our very own Rufus.
Can I get a booyah? Can I get a booyah?
Even though we are improving in the dungeons, it's still good to improve outside the dungeons too. And just like David Attenborough, I also tend to the wildlife.
This extraordinary creature is half blind, half deaf.
You probably sat there at home thinking, what the fuck is this, Blue Planet? But all this stuff is transferable. Doing good deeds in the outside world of Azeroth grants you nice blessings in the dungeons. And if you don't believe me, here, I'll prove it. Now what did I say? Bless the streets and your deeds will not go unnoticed. Things just kept getting better for me too. The weapon upgrade has made a huge difference, especially in the boss fights. After a while, you'd think I slowed down like everyone else, but no, I just kept on going. But it's hard to stay consistent when you have a tank who doesn't understand the boss. This boss is already a pain in the ass for me, but when I got a tank who doesn't understand how to pass around the debuff, then it becomes an even bigger issue. Even my monk was trying to chase him down at one point, but once he gave me the debuff, I gave it right back to the tank and got the hell out of dodge. But my monk didn't do that, so once he got the debuff back, it was night-night for him. But now that the monk is out the picture, there's only one other melee to pass it to, and that's when it hit me. I'm just going to be another victim. Not today. You'd think with that 200 IQ move, we would go on to kill the boss with no more casualties. Nope, because at the end of the day, I'm still a warrior.
Zug zug.
Despite our little mistake, we still finished on top. The DK also gave us a helmet, and if we just get one more hero track set piece, we can finally rock the 2 set. But knowing our luck, that's just not going to happen. You're probably thinking them last dungeons were probably a fluke. But no, we were still staying consistent. But I guess the game realized I was having too much fun, so it just had to ruin my day and decided to crash. But at least I got this cool ass after effect.
What?
The crash was so bad I couldn't even respawn. and once I finally got back into the game, the damage meters reset. Even though they had a bit of a head start, we still tried our best to get to the top. After all, my mother didn't raise no bitch, and with every fibre of my being, I made it my mission to reach the top. I smacked them 4 buttons like I've never smacked them before, and with each pack and every ticking moment in the dungeon, I was getting ever so closer to reaching the top. And on the final boss, we reigned victor. We reigned victor. Is that what they say? Reigned victor? Is that the phrase? Sweet, sweet victory. And what was our reward? Fuck all. These last few dungeons has given me the confidence to try out some 10s, and still not having a tier set, I was feeling a little bit anxious. But don't worry, because we had a tank that pulled like a little bitch. Oh boy, here we go. Now, this is where it kicks in. How I found these players is beyond me. Like I said at the start, these are just people like us. However, these guys can give Rocky no hand to run for their money. Having a tank that pulls like this in a 10 is just unbearable. He finally chain pulled a few mobs together, but guess what? He was tanking it in a path that another pack roams into. But I'm not going to put the whole blame on a tank for this. I could have easily pinged, but where's the fun in that? Instead, I had to let this unfold, because sometimes you gotta teach these people a lesson. The worst thing is though, once this pack was over, he went back to tanking 4 footmen. Like, come on. Even when we finally got to fight in a decent sized pack, I was struggling to stay alive. I think the game knew I was tilted, because every single ability was aimed at me. I mean, yeah, I could have pressed my defensive ability, but everyone knows that you only press that when you're on 20% health. And then suddenly, my tank had an epiphany and did a complete U-turn and started pulling way more, which I would have been happy about if I wasn't dying before the packs were grouped up.
This next pull is going to be fucking insane, I just know it, so I'm saving my cooldowns.
I hate to say I predicted it, but I did. Sometimes you just know what a tank's going to do. How do you go from being scared to pull more than 4 footmen to pulling whatever the hell this is? I mean, do I really need to say it? Yeah, we obviously died. Who the hell does this guy think we are? Echo. But wait, it gets even worse. Going into the building with 13 minutes left, the dungeon was not looking good. At this point, I just wanted to finish it so I can at least get my weekly vault. As you can guess, that didn't happen, because my tank couldn't even survive this easy ass pull. We tried it one more time for the sake of it, but tanking a pack in a corner that leaves a pool on the floor is never a good idea. When I thought I couldn't find a worse tank, the world just had to prove me wrong. I can't put all the blame on the tank though, because legit, all 4 of these players were terrible. I mean, I get it, Baron is a hard fight, especially in a pug, because it's all based around mechanics, and not a lot of people understand the fight, but the general rule is to stay stacked and soak after the shield goes out. But not in this group's case, it's more stack in a random place and charge for the hammers to soak as quickly as possible, and that always leads to death. I mean, just look at this clip. I almost got one tapped right away because my DPS was just plowing their head into the soak, so once the shield came out and smacked me in the face, I was left on 30% HP. I can deflect the shield, but I'm still not used to pressing it. They still kept soaking before the shield came out, and I'll give it to him, they was getting away with it, but after a while, this will come back to bite him. And it did just that. During the 5 soak when Baron was buffed by Vindictive Wrath, aka he had his wings out. This means he has 100% increased physical damage and all his abilities are empowered, so naturally they started to soak early. The shield comes out, one bangs him, and then the ticking dot took out the rest. You'd think now there's only 3 of us alive, our tank and healer would take it a little bit easier, but no, the healer soaks early again and gets one bang by the shield. Because I'm all out of defensives and low on HP, I wait a little before soaking. We still had time, so there's no rush, but time is of the essence for this tank. Instead of waiting 2 extra seconds for the debuff to run out, instead he resets it, and now he's tanking 2 dots of the debuff plus the boss, so he just fell over. At this point, the key was over, but with the server going offline in 30 minutes, I still wanted to at least try and get it done. So I told them you have 30 seconds to soak, so take it easy. Did that happen? Absolutely not. You'd think blowing up your healer on this soak, you'd probably take it easy on the next one. Nope, not my group. They were still charging headfirst into the hammers in order to soak, even though you have 20 minutes to finish it. Take 3. Remember, you got 30 seconds. You seriously don't need to rush this. And they listened. And guess what? The healer could safely heal without the worry of being hit by hammers, or not being able to get out the zone of the shield. But sadly, all that advice went out the window on the very next rotation, and instead, I had to watch this fiesta. I swear. I'm confident these dudes were trolling, because for some reason, the healer thinks the dot suddenly does more damage if you wait a little bit longer. What he doesn't actually realize is the reason why he's taking so much damage is because he was getting slapped by a hammer every single time. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it. I always try my best not to flame these guys, and I did a really good job. But once this warlock typed this, I kinda just lost my shit. They're legit trolling. Maybe I'm not ready for 9. They're the ones that are trolling. Bruh. How do I find these people? How do these people fucking function as human beings? I don't get it. If you're still watching at this point and somehow made it through my meltdown, I would seriously like to show you how this fight is actually played. Because I already know there's a dude typing out a message right now telling me I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mr. Segs Machine. Alright, this is me live. I'm going to be talking you through how to do this fight. Because I see loads of people messing it up and honestly, it's depressing. So before every fight, I always type stack and soak after shield. These are like the 2 core mechanics that you need to like do. Otherwise, you just won't be able to do this fight. First, you pull the boss and you stay stacked. I hit the boss, then like 5 seconds later, the hammers will come down. And this is where you'll need to get to the opposite side of the room. So obviously none of the hammers hit you. Boom, I take them all the way over here. And in 1 second, the soak will spawn, but you don't soak it immediately. Because once you get the soak, there's the initial damage plus the knockback, and then the ticking dot. And when the shield comes out, which comes out now, it would normally like one bang people. Like this was without any soaks, and he's on 50% HP. We have a blood DK in this one, so he has his AMS up. So he can soak all 3 without even receiving the dot, or taking initial damage. Plus he has a deficit advance, so he doesn't get knocked back. And this is when he goes into Vindictive Wrath. I talked about Vindictive Wrath. He does 100% physical damage and is abilities are empowered, so this is where you need to be extra careful. Again, same principle. Hammer comes down, opposite side of the room, and then he'll do the soak mechanic. You don't immediately soak, especially in Vindictive Wrath, otherwise you just immediately die. Hammer comes out, boom, he does so much damage. If any of these took 1 soak, or like the AoE pulsing from someone taking the soak early, it would probably die. So yeah, I just leap away and path towards this, obviously because we have melees, we have Blood DK and myself, so I want to bring the boss close to this. We could wait for AMS and he just soaks all 5, but I don't think he ends up doing it. I think I ended up taking maybe 2. Yeah, interrupt blinding light, then yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll just go through it one more time so you know. Bait, opposite side of the room, soak comes out, you wait, F1's topped up full. See how the healer could top F1 up safely. Soak comes out, shield, jump towards the shield, and then soak. Completely fine. Yep, that's how you do it. Thanks, Obey. I hope that explains the fight, but if you still don't really get it, feel free to leave a comment and I can explain it a little bit better. Alright, take 3 of this goddamn dungeon. The fact that people still don't know how to do second boss in this dungeon is completely insane to me. It's a very easy boss. Dare I say the easiest boss in this game, if you just play it right. And I stand by that. Even this group didn't do the boss correctly, but they was pumping so hard and the healer was a gamer. So we finished the boss in like 4 or 5 rotations. We was also barely dying, so we made up from the last 2 dungeons by 2 chests in this one. And to make it even better, we got some hero track shoulders. This means we can finally craft that 2 set. But I'm gonna hold off on that for now, because we have a weekly vault in just a few hours. In the meantime, we dipped our toes back into some 10s. Surely this time it will go better. And it did. This group were blasting, especially this tank. Jesus, I know Prop Pally did a lot of damage, but this was just insane. I could barely even keep up with him. The only time I could actually look good on the damage meters was during the boss fights. We finished the dungeon off with 3 minutes to spare, and just in time for our weekly vault. The myth track ended up being not so good, so instead we took the hero track set piece and then crafted our 2 set. So this is what we're looking like for our final push to Keystone Hero. Let the pumping begin. And as always, if you like the content, subscribe. If you made it this far, we already know you like the content, so subscribe anyway. Like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.